to comfort the ones that are upset. Whew. So now let's look at that. Next are some of the correlations. The relationship between the shepherd is that he has a herd, and the queen is that she has subjects, and the star has fans. Oh, the herd follows the shepherd, the subjects obey the queen, and the fans adore the star. We're getting into trouble already. Yeah. The sheep can stray, the subjects can revolt or be revolting. Sorry, that was so bad, but I planned to do it all this time. The fans could lose interest. The sheep need attention. The subjects need to be controlled. Oh, and the fans need to be entertained. The threat of the sheep is that wolves may come in. The subjects might overthrow the throne, and there'll be a loss of power. And the threat to the star is always the next bright, shining star who might open a center down the street that is more entertaining. I'm going to go to Reverend X's place because he allows me to bring coffee cups into the sanctuary. So you know what I see in pastors who are struggling with this model is that they have to develop an on-screen personality. That is something I call professional warmth.
That's right.
You know, painted. And then you start to notice when you get too close is that there is a sharp difference between the on-screen and off-screen personality. When you're on, and when you're not, you're not. Oh, to live your own message all the time. It calls for, what did the one speaker say? Stand up naked in front of the congregation every day. Well, you know that's also true in your life. For you, for me, for everybody. There's no place to hide. I was telling Darnisha, I was even eavesdropping on conversations about her in the elevator. I know where she was on X time, you know, that's how it is. And wherever you are, that's the right place to be, and you're on. Not the fake on, you're on all the time. Because people see right through that role. So, you know, a star has to lead by entertaining, which is a form of mesmerizing the people. But the problem is when it's over, it's over. And when you live this role, then you live for applause. You know, when I don't know how things happen in your organization, but in my organization, things are starting to get a little bit secular. So after, I hope I'm not going to offend anybody, but after the message, the people would applaud. And growing up Catholic, that was, oh my goodness, that was unheard of. Yo, what are you doing? And so I started to get a taste for it. So I would build the message now to end appropriately for the standing ovation. I'm just being honest with you. And then, if it didn't come, see, I was living for the applause. I didn't care what I put in the message. I'm just telling you, until somebody said, what are you doing? You know, they shook me up out of this normal I was creating. And so I knew the only way out was to eliminate the applause. So I would end my presentations immediately into prayer. So I didn't know if you liked it or not. So who did I have to depend on? Only God knows. You know, I'm only doing that work. Thank you for the applause. Finally, I'm okay. Oh, my goodness me. All right, but to be serious, let's look inside again. Can you find the place in you where you are like any of that? And what is it doing for your organization? Are you demanding of your spiritual leaders that they be entertaining? You see, I know what that's like because I was in the seat as the fan. I remembered my first, you heard reference, my first experience hearing a New Thought preacher. I just knew right away that I've come home. You know, I'll tell you a little bit more about that story. I went into the church in Burbank, California, you know, the heart of Hollywood. And it's a bit strange, this whole New Thought thing. I come from a Catholic background, and I got the back pew, and I'm sitting, and out comes the pastor. She's a woman. And she's beautiful. And she is like $2 million, and the earrings and the hair. And I have nothing to compare this to. And then she speaks, and she is telling me the truth like I have never heard it before, but my heart knows it. And so immediately I went to her and I said to her, I want your job. And she said to me, oh, honey, they all do. And she set me out to start taking classes, and I started learning, and my mind was just like exploding from what I was learning, and I knew I'd come home to it. And then all through that process, I would come to services, and I would just watch her and drink it in. And then I would come to services, and if she wasn't there, I don't even need to tell you. So, where is Reverend X? I would say. She's not here? Well, so me too. But don't you know the way of the world, the way of things, the way of the universe, how it comes back around? So there I'm in my center now, years later. I take a Sunday off. Down goes the money. Down goes the attendance. So I got to look inside. Oh, I inherited that model too. I trained the people to be fans. I didn't tell them the truth. Yeah. Yeah. So I told them the truth. I said one day, I've noticed that when I'm gone, so is the money. So I have a message for you, I said. I'm going to take the whole month of January off. And when I come back, if attendance is down, and if the money is down, that will be the clearest message you can ever give me that I have not taught you the truth. Yeah? And ever since then, 10 years ago, I have taken every January off, and the money stays the same. Yeah. Whoa. Because they got it. They got it. They were incorrectly transferring onto me powers that I did not have. They had forgotten that they were building this spiritual community also, and that I couldn't do my work of leading if they were going to be sheep. And I had to stop treating them like sheep. We all had to stop playing our roles. We had to grow up. Oh. I can't believe they didn't stay away when I was away. Isn't it good to laugh at ourselves? Yeah. I'll tell you about some of the advantages, the good advantages of leading as a star, as an allegory, is that it guides us to take advantage of all the technology that God has so beautifully made available to us. I loved that presentation yesterday and all the talk of tweeting, and I'm like that. Because if we do, we are just staying in step with the incoming generation. We stay relevant. If we don't, and look, it's true that television has trained us to have a short span of attention. So we can just keep on cutting the ends of the ham off a certain way, or we can ask the question, how can we use all of this multimedia to deliver a message and still stay in integrity? All right, I have another model for you, just a little bit more, okay? No? Okay, thank you. I'm checking. Here it is. You see, I don't even have to explain the rest of it, because now you can start discovering, and all the way you just look inside, is there any of that in me? I'll give you an example of what comes to mind with the superhero. So when somebody in the congregation, they come up to me and they whisper in that voice of conspiracy, you know, Reverend, I know that you're the only one who can speak the word for me. Now, where did I go wrong that I taught them that? You're one with God, not this one, anyone, all one. You know, they did that with the master teacher too, huh? You're the only one. And it's so frustrating for him. You know, it's to the point where how long must I suffer this? When are you going to know? How can I do my work if you're running around saying it's only you? He was frustrated. How long am I going to put up? Well, for me, I'm going to put up with it for as long as I teach people that I am better than them. Ouch. Here's the next slide, just so we can see it. Okay, so the sheep herd, the king has subjects, the star has fan, and the superhero has the helpless, or the victims. Okay, so the sheep, their function is to follow, the subjects obey, the fans adore, and the victims need you. They can't get by without you. The danger is that the sheep can stray, the people can revolt, the fans can lose interest. The danger of this superhero is that the people could become empowered. They could help themselves. Oh, wait, that's our mission. So I need to pay attention to the sheep, or I need to control the subjects, or I need to entertain the fans, but I need to rescue the victims. I got to keep them out of trouble. So the threat is that peace might happen. It might break out. Then I will not be needed. So, you know, this kind of leader, one of my students says, is probably inclined to introduce imaginary dangers. I'm not going to ask you if you can think of an example. Such a leader may need trouble to keep her position, his position.